Okay, good afternoon, everyone. Today we are going to start another lecture on periodic and non-periodic signals. And at the end of the class, we are going to solve few problems related to periodic and non-periodic signals. So what we had discussed in the previous class was how can we define a periodic signal and what leads to, or what is the equation that has been governing the periodic signal. And next one, when it comes to a continuous time signal and also the discrete time signal, so what is the formula that is there for the discrete time and also the continuous time signal? Okay, so let me start with the fundamentals what we discussed earlier, and that is one thing there. So we had solved this problem, and later on we also gave a clear picture of how a problem can be asked in the examination. Next one, we can generally come to a conclusion what it is there. So once you have the integral multiples of the total time period, what needs to be done? Okay, so we had solved this problem, x1 of t equals cos of t plus pi by 4, and next one we solved it clearly understanding omega naught is equal to 1 radians per second. And I already told you, so this is the topic that you need to highlight. So this is one thing, which is x of t, that will be equal to, okay, so that is equal to a, okay, cos of omega t plus or minus, this is the phase angle difference, and a sine omega t plus or minus 5. So both the signals are said to be periodic in nature. So both the signals are said to be periodic in nature. Okay, so assuming that this is continuously said to be like periodic in nature, even though you will be having the phase angle difference that is there, so it is said to be periodic with a slight phase angle difference there. Okay, so now any signal in such manner can be called as periodic. And how to determine whether it is periodic or not? First you will be finding the fundamental period. First you will be finding the fundamental period. Okay, so next what you are going to do is you are going to find out whether it is periodic or not, whether it is periodic or not. Okay, so that's how we are going to find out whether it is the periodic nature of the signal or not there. Okay, so next what you are going to do here is, if two signals are given like this, if two signals are given like this, what needs to be done? Determine the fundamental period t naught, where you will be having the summation of signals x1 of t and x2 of t, x1 of t and x2 of t being given. So what is the fundamental period of the summation of the signal that is there? So that's how you need to find out, and that's what needs to be done. Okay, so how are you going to find out whether this signal is having a fundamental period, or is it called a periodic signal that is there? Okay, so what you are going to do now is you are going to formulate a theorem, or you need to prove it in such a way that this needs to be done. Okay, so let me see to it that, let me go to the next page here, and let me say a statement problem. Let me solve this statement problem first. Statement problem 1. Okay, statement problem 1, what needs to be done here? Okay, so in this statement problem 1, which is let x1 of t and x2 of t, let x1 of t and x2 of t be two periodic signals, having periods, that is the fundamental periods t1 and t2 respectively, Okay, so if you are having signals x1 and x2 to be the periodic times, that is t1 and t2, that is for x1 which is t1 Okay, x1 of t, you will be having t1, and x2 of t, that will be having t2. So determine the sum of the signals. Determine the fundamental fundamental period. Determine the fundamental period for the signal for the signal the signal x of t, which is considered to be the sum of two signals, that is x1 of t and x2 of t. So that's what I have written here, which is x1 of t and x2 of t. Okay, so you have a signal called as x of t, which is a continuous time domain. You are having x1 of t and x2 of t being two different signals having the time period t1 and t2. Okay, so x of t is having a time period t1, x of 2 is having a time period t2. So you need to determine what is the fundamental period for the signal x of t. So what needs to be done, or how we are going to prove that if you are having t1 and t2 as the fundamental period, what is x of t there? Okay, so let me go step by step, one by one, or step by step, which is there. So x1 of t, which is said to be periodic, if you change x1 to be t plus, okay, t1, that is equal to again x1 of t plus m t1. Okay, so this is having a time period t1. So what did we do here? So again, let me write the second signal. I'll show you at the end. X2 of t plus capital T2, that is equal to x2 of t plus, let me take another constant, say k, which is kt2. Okay, so let me write this one as equation 1 and this one as equation 2. Okay, so now what did I do now? In both the cases, I have taken t to be equal to t plus t1 in the first case. Okay, and in case of second one, it is t plus t2. In both the cases, I have changed it to the fundamental time period, that is t1 and t2 respectively. So let x1 and x2 be the continuous time signal, and later what you are going to have here is m and k being the positive integers. M and k being the positive integer. M and k being the positive integers. Okay, so m and k being the positive integers there. Okay, so what you need to do at next one is, so you have to see that you are having x of t. Okay, so that is equal to x of t plus t. Okay, so if this signal, once you say this is periodic, I can write it like this. Okay, so I can write this as equation 3, but this is the sum of the signals, which is x1 of t and x2 of t. Okay, so if equation number 3 can be written as x of t equals x of t plus capital T, so x of t on the left hand side equation can be written as x1 of t plus x2 of t. Okay, so how I can express this as a periodic nature is the next thing here. So x1 of t plus t1, okay, plus x2 of t plus t2, that will be equal to x of t plus t, and that will be again equal to x of t. Okay, so this is what I can write down here. So I have just equated and I have written it in such a way that the expression is being valid. Okay, so I can replace this with x1 of t plus mt1 plus x2 of t plus kt2, that is equal to x of t plus t, that is again equal to x of t. Okay, so what needs to be done here is, so I can again rewrite this using the change from t to t plus. Okay, so if I know that x of t will be equal to this function here, x of t will be equal to this function here. If I can say this term to be equal to the periodic nature, so what I can do here, so I'll be changing this from change from t to t plus t. Okay, so what happens there is, so I can state it like this: x of t plus t equals x1 of t plus t plus x2 of t plus t there. Okay, so what I can write here again in this equation as x1 of t plus mt1, okay, plus x2 of t plus mt2. Okay, so I can write it like this. So both the equations, equation 4 and equation 5, are said to be periodic. Equation 4 and equation 5 is said to be periodic, is said to be periodic if mt1 equals, okay, yeah, I can, sorry, I just wanted to replace this one, which is a k here. Okay, so this one is kt2 equals capital T. Okay, so what I can write down here is t1 divided by t2 equals k divided by m, which is again, it is considered to be a rational number. Capital T equals a rational number. It is said to be a rational number. Once you are having a rational number, you can say that that rational number is the fundamental period. So that rational number, okay, that rational number which is expressed in the form of p by q is said to be the periodic, that is the fundamental period. And the signal and x of t is said to be periodic in nature. X of t is said to be periodic in nature. X of t is said to be periodic in nature. Okay, so this is the one what you are going to use it in the given numerical problems, which is mt1 equals kt2 equals capital T. Okay, so that is what you are going to use it in the remaining part of the numerical problems. Okay, so this is the condition. I can generally state this to be the condition to be specified. Condition to be specified. Condition to be specified if the signal is said to be signal is said to be periodic. Signal is said to be periodic. Okay, so let's take the problem there. Again, if you want to see to it that if you go through it, and this is the problem what we have. So let me take it as x2 of t, the second problem which needs to be analyzed here. So what we can generally see here is you are having two frequencies, that is pi by 4, which is of the first signal, and omega 2, which is the second signal, that is pi by 3. So this is radians, and this one is also in radians. Okay, so radians per second. Okay, so radians per second. So omega, which is the angular frequency, it can be expressed as radians per second. Okay, so the angle is given in radians there, and this one, which is the fundamental frequency, once you multiply with t, you are getting in radians. Okay, so omega 1 is pi by 4, omega 2 is pi by 3. Fine. So now what do I do with the next step here? So in the next step, what I can prefer is omega 1 equals 2 pi divided by t1. Okay, so t1 and t2 are the fundamental periods, fundamental periods of x1 of t and x2 of t. x1 of t and x2 of t. So what is t1 here? I can write t1 to be, okay, so it is 2 pi divided by omega 1. Okay, so what is 2 pi divided by omega 1? So 2 pi divided by, what is omega 1? Pi divided by 4. Okay, so it get cancelled. So t1 is with 8 seconds. T1 is found out to be 8 seconds there. Okay, so that's how you can find out what is T1, and similarly you can find out what is T2. Okay, so let me go with the steps again. So you are having the omega 1 and omega 2. So this is omega 1. Okay, so this one is omega 2. Okay, so now you are having omega 1 and omega 2. So omega 1 equals 2 pi divided by T1. So you are having T1 to be equal to 8 seconds there. Okay, so next what we can do here is, I'll go to the, or I can erase here. I can see to it that omega 1 you are having T1. So let me erase that part quickly. Okay, so see to it that omega 1 will be equal to, so you are having a well-known formula there. So it is better that you go through all the numerical problems. Once when I solve it, you have to solve it on your own. So then you will be having the better understanding of it. Okay, next omega 2, that will be equal to 2 pi divided by, equal to 2 pi divided by omega 2. So 2 pi divided by omega 2, what is pi? Omega 2, pi by 3. Okay, so that is 6 seconds. That is 6 seconds. So T2, that is the fundamental period of signal x of 2, x2 of t, that is equal to 6 seconds. That is equal to 6 seconds. Okay, so that's how you are going to find out what is T1, that is 8 seconds. Generally what we found out, T1, that is 8 seconds. Okay, so T2 is said to be 6 seconds there. So T and T2, so those are said to be generally T1 is 8 seconds and T2 is said to be 6 seconds there. So now I want to find out the fundamental period of the signal x2 of t. So to find the fundamental period, fundamental period of the signal of x2 of t, that is the signal x2 of t, what do I need to do now? So in most of the textbooks they are directly written as t1 by t2. So I can write this one to be 8 divided by 6. So if you recall it, so you'll be having mt1, this is the first signal there, this is the second signal what you are going to have, and what is written there is t1 by t2, that will be equal to, yes, so this is k divided by m there. Okay, so k divided by m. So mt1 equals kt2, that is equal to t. Or there is a simple step, if you can recall it. So you need to take the LCM. Okay, very important step, that is LCM of 8 and 6. Okay, that comes to 24. Okay, so the fundamental period of the signal is said to be 24 seconds. So that is said to be 24 seconds. Okay, so it is better that you take the LCM of 8 and 6, that comes to 24. So if you can work out the LCM, least common multiple of two numbers, that is 8 and 6, that was 24 there. So you are having the fundamental time period, that is T0, that is equal to 24 seconds. So 24 seconds is the right answer, which is the fundamental period T0, that is 24 seconds. Okay, so that is the value there. Okay, so this is how you need to work out the given problem, and see to it that you solve a more number of problems that is there. And let me go to the next problem, which is generally a discrete time signal that you need to understand. So if you understood the continuous time signal, and the discrete time signal is quite easy to understand. Okay, so whether, again the same question, so x of n to be equal to 5 times cos of 0.2 pi n. Okay, so 0.2 pi n. So I can generally say that looking at the equation, so it is a cosine term. Okay, so cosine term, it is there. You are having the term quite simple to this. So you are having it called as a cos omega naught n. Okay, so a cos omega naught n. So it's quite this format. And what we can generally say here is omega naught. Okay, so the previous problem what we had worked out, it was of the form the problem which was there, it can be expressed as a rational number. Okay, so that's the reason why I told you it was expressed as a rational number. That's the reason why we generally call it to be a periodic function. But some numbers which cannot be expressed rationally, like root 2, root 3 and pi, generally they are said to be the irrational numbers, and we cannot call the signal to be a periodic signal. We cannot call the signal to be the periodic signal. So omega naught equals 0.2 pi. Okay, so what we can generally do here is omega naught, okay, 2 pi f naught equals omega naught equals 0.2 pi. Okay, so omega naught, that is equal to, okay, so that is fine. So omega naught, that is equal to 2 pi divided by t naught. Okay, so what is being left out? So this is the samples. So I can write this one to be the number of samples that is there. So this is capital N. Okay, so n is said to be the fundamental frequency. N represents the fundamental frequency in discrete time signal. Okay, so that's how I can represent the fundamental frequency in discrete time signal. So omega naught can be written as 2 pi divided by n. So 2 pi by n, how you can write it? So you can rewrite the equation again, omega divided by 2 pi, that is equal to 1 divided by n. Okay, so n should be a whole number. For example, so you can't write it like 1.3698. So that cannot be considered as a rational number. That is more or less like a irrational number there. So omega naught divided by 2 pi. So omega naught divided by 2 pi. What is 2 pi? That is a number there. Generally, omega naught I need to take 0.2 pi divided by 2 pi. So that is equal to 1 divided by n. Okay, so 0.2 pi. Yeah, so I can cancel this out, and what I'm left out with, so I can write this to be 2 into 10 power minus 1 divided by 2. I can write it like this, that is 1 by n. Okay, so 10 power minus 1 divided by 10, that is equal to 1 divided by n, the number of samples. Okay, so frequency in a discrete domain can be called also as the number of samples. So the number of samples that is equal to n, that is equal to 10 here. Okay, so the number of samples, capital N, that is equal to 10, and this is said to be the periodic signal. Okay, x of n is a periodic signal. X of n is a periodic signal. Okay, x of n is a periodic signal. Okay, so that's what you can write it. Omega naught equals 0.2 pi. So 2 pi divided by 2 pi by n, or 2 pi f naught if I want to write it. So f naught is generally the digital frequency that is there. Omega naught will be equal to 2 pi divided by n. So that's how you are going to represent it, and you can call the number of samples to be equal to 10 here. Okay, so moving on to the next problem, it is quite simple, and what you can generally do is you can have a signal to be called as x of n, that is sine of 2 times n. Okay, sine of 2 times n. So sine squared, you need to be very clear what I'll be writing now. So sine squared n is different, sine 2n is different. Okay, so both are entirely different there. Okay, so see to it that you are having a clear cut understanding of what needs to be written there. Okay, so very clear in what I'll write. So both are entirely different. Okay, so both are entirely different, and you need to be very clear in what needs to be expressed now. So again, omega naught, that is equal to 2. You have to be very careful. So this is one of the important problems there. So omega naught can be written as 2 radians per second. Okay, so omega naught divided by 2 pi, that is equal to 1 divided by n. Okay, so omega naught divided by 2 pi. If I want to replace 2 divided by 2 pi, okay, so that is equal to 1 divided by pi. Okay, so that is again 1 divided by n. N cannot be, the number of samples cannot be called as a rational number. N cannot be called as a rational number in this given problem. So that is equal to pi. Okay, so the signal is said to be, aperiodic. Signal is said to be non-periodic or aperiodic. The signal is said to be non-periodic or aperiodic. Okay, so the signal is said to be non-periodic or aperiodic in nature. So that's the reason why it is said to be non-periodic in nature. Okay, so this was one of the simplest problems that was there, and you are having exponential function and so on. That we will discuss shortly. And coming to this concept, which is energy and power signal, which will be done in the next class. So another concept also has to be discussed, which is the operations performed on the dependent and independent variables. Okay, the operations performed on the dependent and independent variables and the properties of the systems. So you are left out with 2 more topics, and quite a handful of problems needs to be discussed. That's the reason in the next class you need to be careful in handling the problems which are there, and I'll solve few more problems. I'll take 2 to 3 classes in solving problems related to previous year's question papers, and some of the problems will be given as a weekly assignment which you need to submit it. So on Monday you will be having the submission of the assignment 1, and you need to be submitting before the time. Okay, so I'll extend it by Monday, but from next week onwards it has to be done on Saturday. Okay, so see to it that the next week's assignment has to be completed on Saturday itself. Okay, so we will stop now. We will stop right now, and in the next class you need to come prepared with the numerical problems. Okay, thank you everyone.